बहुत बहुत आभार प्रकट करता हूँ आपका।
श्री अभिषेक बनर्जी।
Thank you, sir. I rise here today to speak on the Public Examination Amendment Bill 2026. We support this bill, but I want to make it very clear in the beginning that just because we support this bill doesn't mean, or the government should expect us to applaud those who set the world on fire because they turn up with a bucket of water. We support this bill and the amendment because no responsible political party
अरे चुप कीजिए
या तो मैं बोलूं
सर,
या तो वो बोले या तो मैं बोलूं।
चुप कराइए। आप इनको बोलिए, आप इनको बोलिए।
2024 में बिल लाके आज अमेंडमेंट लाना पड़ रहा है। अरे शर्म करो, शर्म करो।
इसको बंद कराइए, सरसा होने दीजिए, सरसा।
सर, every student deserves the. Sir, every student deserves.
बैठिए, बैठाइए इसको।
सर, आप देख लीजिए चर्चा कौन चाहता है। सर, चर्चा कौन चाहता है, कौन नहीं चाहता है।
सभी से निवेदन है
सर, बिल पे
सभी से निवेदन है, आप सब लोग बैठिए प्लीज। सभी से निवेदन।
सर, बिल पे चर्चा कौन चाहता है और कौन नहीं चाहता है, ये साफ है सर, ये दिख रहा है। Every student deserves the assurance that examinations should be fair. Every parent deserves the confidence that success is determined by hard work, talent and integrity, not by money, influence or organized criminal syndicates. But support for this bill cannot be a substitute for accountability. A stronger law is necessary, yes, but by itself is not sufficient. If examination continues to be compromised by systematic failures, no amendment, however stringent, will restore the faith that millions of students have lost. That is the question before this August House today, sir. But let me also say this. The bill that is being discussed is not a solution. Rather, this bill is an admission. It is an admission that the NDA and the BJP government have failed. It failed to protect examinations. It failed to protect the students. It failed to protect the merits. And today, after the failure exploded across the country, it wants Parliament to believe that increasing punishment will erase 12 years of incompetence. Well, it will not. This government has mastered one art. Whenever governance fails, they change the law. Whenever administration collapses, they increase punishment. Whenever institutions fail, they announce another committee. But governance is not done by headlines. Governance is measured by outcomes. So what is the outcome? So paper leak after leak, exam cancellation after exam cancellation, student pushed into depression, parents pushed into debt, dreams pushed into uncertainty. So the BJP government calls itself a government of new India. Sir, young India today asks only one question. If this is new India, why do our examination paper leaks with such remarkable consistency?
Ask them to be quiet.
आप बैठिए।
नहीं, आप इनको बैठिए। नहीं, आप इनको बैठाइए। नहीं, आप इनको बैठाइए। आप बैठाइए
इनको हंगामा करना है तो हंगामा करें। सर, यही नहीं चाहते हैं सदन चले।
किसी का कोई रिकॉर्ड में नहीं जा रहा है, केवल जो वक्ता है उसका रिकॉर्ड में जा रहा है। प्लीज बी सीटेड। जी प्लीज बी सीटेड टू योर सीट।
सर, वहां से भी दूसरे ट्रेजरी बेंचेस के जो मेंबर्स चिल्ला रहे हैं, आप उनको भी बोलिए शांति बना के रखिए।
आप अपना विषय रखिए, अपना विषय रिकॉर्ड में जा रहा
से
है।
एक्सपेक्ट नहीं कर सकते कि हम लोग चुप रहे और ये लोग चिल्लाएं।
आप बैठिए सब लोग।
सर, मैं
बैठा हुआ।
He is disturbing continuously.
Don't disturb the speaker, please.
Discussion.
Don't disturb the
The
speaker.
treasury benches doesn't want the house to run. They don't want discussion.
Those two are going on disturbing.
No, you are not allowed
No,
to speak.
sir,
No.
you tell them no.
So why
No,
not?
no, sir.
If
No
they can
mercy.
speak from there.
This type of be able
You
not
cannot
able to-
silence and stifle the voice of
Please sit.
opposition.
Please sit.
You cannot do that.
Please sit.
No.
They are all sitting. They are all
Every
sitting.
member of
Please
this
be
house,
seated. Please be
every
seated.
member of this house has to be treated equally.
Please be seated. You continue, please.
Why you are disturbing so much?
Sir, if this
All
new
free
India, sir, if this is our new India, why do our examination paper leaks with such remarkable consistency is the question I would like to ask, sir. Every year, the government promises a new system. Every year, students get the same old scandal. The names of examinations change, the names of victims change, the names of accused change, but somehow the crime and the government never changes. Sir, every time there is a paper leak, the government reacts as if they were seen as an unforeseen act of God, as though lightning has struck out of a clear sky. But that's not reality, sir. This is not lightning, because lightning strikes once. Paper leaks in today's India has become a pattern. It has become a system. And when the same failure repeats itself year after year, it ceases to be an incident or an accident. It becomes a system. And when a system repeatedly fails, the responsibility lies not only with the students, but with those who are entrusted to govern the country. The government keeps saying, we are the strongest government, we are the most decisive government, we are the most nationalist government. Really? I would like to ask the government, if you're so competent, so efficient, and so strong and decisive, the government is so competent, then why can't it secure a sealed question paper? You say you can monitor satellites. The government say it can track missiles. The government say it can defend cyberspace. Yet somehow, sir, confidential examination papers seem to be travel faster than the government can detect them. What does it say about the state of affairs of the current government? And then comes the ultimate irony. A government that speaks tirelessly about national security has in some instances reportedly had to resort to extraordinary security arrangements, including military logistics and helicopters being used of Indian armed forces and Indian air forces to transport examination papers. Think about it, sir. Think about it for a moment. If a question paper requires the level of protection normally reserved for matters of national security, what does that tell us about the examination system? It tells us that the problem is no longer the paper. The problem is government's inability to protect it. Chairman, sir, the youth of India did not ask for helicopters. They asked for honesty. They did not ask for empty slogans. They asked to secure their examinations. They didn't ask for publicity. They asked for fairness. Sir, let us remember what happened in the last 2 months. Lakhs of students in different parts of the country, young boys, girls, everyone came onto the streets. Young boys, young girls, medical aspirants, engineering aspirants, students whose only crime was to ask government the right questions, and those who were believing in merit. Instead of listening to them, what did they receive? The government offered them barricades, danda, police lathi charged, pellets, guns were fired on them, tear gas. This government seems to believe every protest is a conspiracy. Every student is an enemy. Every question is an anti-national. Let me ask the treasury benches. When students ask for justice, why do you first inflict brutality, or what your first instinct becomes force instead of a dialogue? Why are young Indians treated as a law and order problem instead of stakeholders? History is witness, sir. Sir, let me give you some examples from the past. Sir, in the last 12 years, let me give you a record of all the paper leaks that have taken place in the last 12 years, sir. Sir, CBSE class 12 paper was leaked in 2014, no conviction on record. Sir, 2015-16, CBSE pre-medical entrance paper, there has been 4 instances leaked in 3 separate years, 2015, 2016, 2017. No conviction has taken place so far. 2015-16 again, AIPMT, All India Medical Entrance. Question papers were leaked across 10 states. What is the result? Supreme Court scrapped the exam. No conviction has taken place. No conviction on record. Sir, SSC CGL 2017, CBI investigation was ordered on an alleged paper leak. 0 convictions from that case, and CBI probe is happening to date. To date, there has been no development till now. Army Common Entrance Exam leaked in 2017, CBI investigation ordered, 0 conviction, CBI probe ongoing. So CBSE Class 10, Class 12 Economics, both papers leaked, no conviction so far. 2021, JEE Main, irregularities found, CBI probe ordered, no conviction so far. So 2021, UP TET, CBI investigation ordered, 0 conviction so far. 2022, Rajasthan REET recruitment exam leaked, case is currently under trial. Telangana Public Service Commission 2023 leaked over 25,000 leaked question papers were leaked which affected 25,000 candidates, 0 convictions, CBI probe ongoing. 2024, after the government was voted to power, NEET UG, UGC NET, Patna leak took place. Education Minister told the Parliament there was no evidence of any leak in the last 7 years. So 0 convictions has been taking place in the last 2 years. In the UGC NET, exam was cancelled a day after a day after the nationwide protests were held. CBI closure report found no evidence of leak. So let me give you another table. Sir, in the last 12 years, at least 17 exam-related fraud investigation, including NEET, UG 2024, UGC NEET, SSC CGL, JEE Main, WBSSC, HP Police. These are all being probed by CBI, but there has been 0 conviction in the last 12 years. Enforcement Directorate, at least 11 PMLA proceedings attaching crores in alleged proceeds. There has been 0 conviction in the last 12 years. Sir, the government, the BJP government should remember, every generation eventually writes its own report card. And the report card this generation is preparing for the current incumbent and the NDA government will have only one word on the top of the report card, which will say failed. Failed to protect the examination, failed to protect merit, failed to protect trust, failed to protect one's dignity and honor. So the government now say, we have increased punishment. Wonderful. But punishment for whom? For criminals? Good. For organized syndicates? Good. But where is the punishment for administrative negligence, sir? Where is accountability of examination authorities? Where is the accountability of ministries? Where is accountability of the officials? Where is the accountability of vendors who failed lakhs of students? The bill is almost completely silent on this very pertinent question, sir. This is the government's model: privatize responsibility, nationalize credit, and socialize failure. Chairman, sir, the government has informed Parliament that it doesn't maintain any data on paper leaks. Imagine, it says it doesn't maintain any data on paper leaks. The government knows how many toilets it has built. They know how many bank accounts exist. They can conveniently use Pegasus to spy on opposition members to keep a track of their phones and messages. How many digital transactions happens every second, but it does not know how many examination papers were leaked. And now let us examine the performance, sir. The fact that we are debating this amendment and discussing this amendment today, 2 years after the main bill was brought in the House, is a testament to the fact that the bill was a complete failure, and every 2 years or 1 year, government needs a new amendment. So today, 2 years later, this government itself is bringing amendment because they also realize that the problem persists. If implementation fails, how does increasing the sentence solve the problem? A weaker investigation doesn't become strong because punishment becomes harsher. So young generation today, especially the young India, is smarter than the BJP thinks. Generation Z or the millennials do not believe in every slogan. They ask for receipt, they ask for outcomes, they ask for accountability. So they ask, if you promise secure examinations in 2024, why are we debating another emergency amendment in 2026? That is the question the government cannot answer. Young Indians today don't fear competition, they fear corruption. They don't fear merit, they fear manipulation. They don't fear examinations, they fear the system. And when young people stop trusting the system, democracy itself becomes weaker. So students are not asking for sympathy, they're asking for certainty. They're asking for one simple guarantee. If I study honestly for 2 years, let not somebody buy my future overnight. Is that too much to ask for, sir? The BJP constantly tell the young Indians, be patriotic. Let me say this today. The highest form of patriotism is protecting merit. When you ask someone to be patriotic, the highest form of patriotism is to protect the merit. The highest form of nationalism is ensuring that a daughter of a farmer or a son of a daily wage earner gets on equal terms with a son of a crony capitalist or a crony billionaire friend. That is nationalism, that is patriotism. Today, we support this bill, because this amendment, because students deserve every possible protection. But we refuse to allow this government to convert legislation into a certificate of innocence. This bill cannot wash away 12 years of incompetence and failure. It cannot erase cancelled examinations. It cannot erase broken dreams. It cannot erase the humiliation faced by lakhs of young Indians. And it certainly cannot erase the images of students who came seeking justice and were met with barricades and pellet guns instead of love and compassion. Governments are not remembered by the speeches they made, the speeches they make. They are remembered by the generation they leave behind. The government promised Amrit Kal. Instead, millions of students today has experienced anxiety Kal. They promised opportunity, but the students received uncertainty. They promised merit, but they delivered manipulation. They promised confidence, but what the students inherited is fear. Young India will remember who stood with them today. Young India will also remember who questioned them. And young India will remember who tries to suppress their voice instead of protecting their dreams. Supporting this bill doesn't absolve the government, but until this government understands that accountability begins at the top, not at the bottom, the future of India's students will remain vulnerable. And finally, sir, let me expose the biggest contradiction of this government. अभी 2 दिन पहले इंस्टाग्राम में प्रधानमंत्री जी का वीडियो आया, वहां पे उन्होंने फास्ट ट्रैक कोर्ट की चर्चा की. Sir, the government proudly inaugurated the very first hearing of the so-called fast track court in the NEET paper leak case. They have been telling the country that this amendment will ensure speedy justice through special courts and time-bound trials. But what happened on day one? Kal ki baat hai, sir. The special judge had to adjourn the hearing because no one appeared on behalf of CBI till 10:45 a.m. in the morning to oppose the bail application of the accused. This is the truth of BJP government, sir. Sir, on television, they promise fast-track justice. Inside the courtroom, they cannot even ensure the presence of their own lawyer. If the prosecution itself doesn't show up on the very first day, what confidence should India's student have in this government's promise of speedy justice, sir? Is the question I would like to ask the Treasury benches. Sir, this is exactly our objection to this bill. The problem is not merely the law. The problem is the government's capacity and government's intention to implement it. You can create 10 fast-track courts. But if the investigating agency is absent, if the prosecution is unprepared, if the accountability is missing, then justice continues to be delayed. I'm finishing just 20 more seconds. The youth of India are not asking for bigger headlines. They are asking for better governance, sir. They are not asking for another amendment. They are asking for government that takes their future seriously.
Okay.
A government that cannot ensure the presence of its own lawyer in the very first hearing of the country's biggest examination scam has no moral authority to lecture India's students about discipline and accountability. Accountability must begin with the government itself. The dreams of India's youth cannot be built on fear. They can only be built on fairness, transparency and trust. अन्याय की नींव पर भविष्य का निर्माण नहीं हो सकता है, sir.
Thank you.
This will be my appeal
Please
to the
conclude.
government. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Member Shri Dayanidhi Maranji.